Okay, where to start? Now, there was this film called The Dark Phoenix about the X-Men, a team, you might say, of supermen and women, because I'm all for that. Good for you. And the X-Men are called up into space by the President's magical phone. And there's this huge kerfuffle in space involving this sweet rocket, spaceship. And the spaceship is just spinning round and round and round, just like that, round and round and round. And one of these X-Men, Jean, she has the power to, hold a spaceship together or something, and they rescue all of the astronauts except one. And then Jane uses her powers to hold the spaceship together. But there's this solar flare headed straight for them. Well, it's not really a flare, it's more of an angry sludge sort of thing. Then as Jean is stuck inside the spaceship, the sludge sticks itself inside her. And everyone's worried for a moment, but turns out she's fine, and everyone's fine, and they all go home! Yay! So after this, Professor Xavier, he's the leader of the X-Men, he's worried about Jean, so he has his good friend Hank run some tests on Jean. Now, Hank is an interesting fellow. He'll look normal for most of the time, but then every once in a while he'll sprout hair all over his body that's blue, and then he'll go, I'm blue, and attack someone. And so he runs those tests, and turns out she's really powerful, like really, really powerful. And she feels really good and stuff. So she tells her boyfriend Scott how good she feels. Now Scott's like this guy that can shoot beams out of his eyes, and he can go and stuff. So he tells her that everyone else is calling her the Phoenix, and then she becomes the Phoenix and whoosh, knocks everyone over. And now everyone's worried again. And turns out Xavier did something to Jean's mind when she was a kid, and she doesn't like that, so she leaves. And all of the other X-Men go after her, and she gets all mad and whoosh, knocks everyone over. And this blue X-woman, Raven, she tries to stop Jean, but then she dies. Oh well. And then there's these things, dark elves. Well, they're not elves really, but whenever they pop up, it's quite dark and you cannot see them. But they're, scary beings. And then one of the elves sees this blonde lady, and then turns into the blonde lady, and it's all quite scrolly. So the dark elves want the red matter that's inside Jane. I meant Jean. Why would I say Jane? I meant Jean. So Jean goes to visit her friend Eric. And then all of these men in helicopters show up. And then she goes whoosh! Whoosh! She knocks a helicopter over. And then she and Eric are both trying to move a helicopter. And she's all, ah! And Eric's all, ah! And they're both like, ah! And then Jean flies away. So then the blonde elf shows up, and she's all like, control your power, Jean. When really she's all like, I'm going to use your power, Jean. And then I can't remember what else she says. It's really boring. And then Hank visits Eric to ask him to kill Jean, because she killed the other blue woman that Hank was dating. But, these things never last forever. And then Hank and Eric go to kill Jean, but then all the other X-Men show up, and they don't want them to kill Jean, so they all start to fight. And the blonde elf tries to take Jean's powers, but Xavier's all like, Jean, don't let her take your powers! And then Scott comes in, and he's all like, and knocks the blonde elf away. And then all these guys with guns come in, and they capture everyone, and I mean everyone, and put them on this train. But then the elf comes back and wants more sludge power. So all of the elves sneak on top of the train. And this random guy lets all of the X-Men loose, and they all begin to fight on this train, and it's all quite awesome. And then Jean wakes up because she had been asleep all this time, and turns all of the elves into dust. Thanos? Oh! And then the elf woman grabs Jean and starts taking all of her power. But it's too much power. But then Jean makes her take all of it. And the elf's all, your emotions make you weak. But Jean's all like, my emotions make me stronger. Oh no. And she flies them into space, and they both blow up. Whoosh! And then Jean gets a school named after her. Where's the Black Widow School for butt kickery? Or the Iron Man University for just being cool?
But Dad, I want to sing.
You go, I'm blue and attacks